Good morning, Franz. How's everybody doing? Necromancer's here today. Woohoo! And Gonkalo. Fantasy was first, Mutuals was second, Kvatch was third, Necromancer was fourth, Conklapster was fifth. Good morning, everybody. This Bliber's with my ring light. I found a spot where it stays relatively in place on the top of my computer until I can get the desk built. My dad was like, "Oh, we're gonna build your bed," and then he's like looking at the hardware that I have left over, and then he's like, "Just buy a bed." And I'm like, "Nope, I'm building a bed." And he's like, "I ain't got time for that. Time is more precious for me." And I'm like, "Well, I want to learn carpentry, so I'm building the bed." And he's like, I dump scared you." I do that. I just sneak up on people, apparently. Why does my avatar always look angry? It's the light. It's the light. It's the ring light. Yep. Thanks for the hydrate fantasy. We're having some coffee this morning. More coffee, but this is also time for the medicines. I was in another room making birds up, suddenly very loud, "Good morning, Franz!" Oh, I love it. It's bright and sunny today, so I brought Tesla downstairs, and my dad took him from my arms and put him in the sunny seat. He didn't make noises of distress when my dad took him, so that's a good sign. Also, like, I got him to go to the bathroom at like just before 7 this morning. I think it was like 6:50 or something. And Tesla's not in my room. I'm like, "Where the heck is he?" And I go out into the main area, like the top of the landing of the stairs, and I look down into the living room because this house is very open concept. And I see him down in the middle of the living room, and he looks up, sees me, and then immediately runs through the living room, up the stairs to me, and follows me into the bathroom. It was the most adorable thing. It was like, "Mom!" So, I kind of want to work on the painting today, but there's also something else that I want to do, and it's going to require us to go to not this, but this one. Yep, I got too many references in this. Can get rid of that? Okay. Because we're going to a new design page for something. Meta! Woo! He was very happy to see me, even though he was just crawling on me like 15 minutes previous. And now he's eating breakfast. I just heard a noise and I look over and he's at his kibbles. Alright. What I'm going to do is... layer is this on? Where's my pen? I tidied up my desk a little bit yesterday because I was doing some crafts. And I will show you in a moment. Okay. I want a copy of this. We're going to use this for something very specific. And I say this, but you don't know what I'm actually showing. Let's create a new folder. There we go. This is what we need, because this works out perfectly for what we want. This should be in columns. Nope, these are literally all over the place. Sneaks up behind Necromancer. Hi, Necromancer! Okay, I just want the first row. So we're gonna start getting rid of everything else. And then we're going to take the first group, we're going to duplicate them, and then we're going to duplicate them again. There is method to my madness. I needed them all the same size. And I'll show you what I'm planning in a moment. Ow, my head. Cora, thank you for the hydrate. Neff, thank you for the streech. Are you guys, like, plotting together? Everybody, do your morning stretch. Oh. Now, I only needed these specifically for the whatchamacallit. Fuck! The grid. I'm having a morning, guys. I am having a morning. It's a good morning, but man, my brain is just like, yeah. A posture check right after a streech, guys, are gonna stretch me too much. I'm not Elastigirl. The grid, the digital frontier, yes. Now, I needed a square that was also a grid. So this should theoretically be a square because all of the samples were a square. God, I'm not going to get any work done. Everybody on Shrimp Thine Spines become conch lobster. I'm trying to grab a sample of what I want to make. I think I've decided how I want to do the curses for Conquest. And it's not just curses, but it's curses and fortunes, so it's the contract magic. Okay, why is my... I'm going to have to just quickly bring everything down. Things are going to disappear for a second. Okay, bring this back up. Close this. Bring this back up, this back up. My Vinyan is suffering. There we go. You should be able to see this again. There we go. There were some problems. It curls up in a ball like this. That is the opposite of lobstering. Okay. So, I figured out how I want to do the Demora, like, little contract magic things that I want to do at Conquest. I found some inspiration on Pinterest. It just sort of came up when I was going down one of my Pinterest rabbit holes. And I was like, ooh, what is this fascinating thing? And it's called a Victorian puzzle purse. We'll zoom in on it a little bit. Normally they're for love letters. This one appears to be for something sort of like a love letter, but it's on like the creepy gothic side. But there are plenty of designs. Let's see. They fold into these little squares. And while they're folding into these little squares, they have like this sort of pinwheel shape. So that's what's being shown in this main picture here. So they're called Victorian puzzle purses or Victorian puzzle letters. But ultimately you need a 3x3 grid of design on a paper. And it can be both front and back. And it just depends on how you fold it, how things show up. Let's see if I can find another nice picture of one. People like to show them sort of partially folded. This one's in German. And I think I have some in this folder. Do I have a picture of one that's flattened out here? That's the question. Everybody's like, I'm gonna take aesthetic photos, but never show like the whole proper thing. I think that's the best I can do. I've been looking at them for hours and hours. Yesterday, but what I want to do is I want to offer these for, oh god, these are all in the same folder. Let's take them out of that folder. Put them in their own folder. Name us, samples. But yeah, you can see like there's a wide variety of them. Some of them can be like really super cutesy. The little fabric grid is because you end up with this 3x3 of squares, and then you can design them however you like. And depending on how you fold them, they end up as finally this little pocket thing, this little square. But as you open them up, they show more and more of the design until you unfold it all the way. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do like an escalating scale of luck. So you start, let me grab a suitable color here to write in. You start at neutral, and then you have either positive or negative luck. And so, like, the last one is, like, I know if I say that word, uh, some algorithms don't like it when you say that word, and they have AI, like, monitoring everything. So, this is neutrality. And I don't think I want to go too much more from than just like 3 steps. So, so we have prosperity on the top, scarer on the bottom, and those are like either the worst curses or the best blessings. So it's like super good luck. Time for Minecraft. We're not playing Minecraft. No Minecraft today. We design. I did send you some of the ideas that I had, my inspiration for the Demora language, Cora, for like script wise, stuff that inspires me.
Says, today's meta entry is the illustrious, the beautiful, incredibly handsome Phalacrocorox Carbo.
Phalacrocorox Carbo. I'm only going with what he said. Alright, we searched this. DuckDuckGo, what are you gonna give us? Ignore the AI thing. I wish I could turn that off. The Great Cormorant. Okay. He is majestic. Tell us about this critter, Conk. Create new from clipboard. Look at him! With the shiny emerald eye. Turquoise. He is Burb. Odd little bird. He doesn't look that small, though. If I recall, cormorants are a good mid-sized bird, aren't they? Yeah. 4 to 5 feet tall. Okay, yep, they're a large bird. Definitely not even a good mid-sized bird. They are a large bird. God, that's as tall as some of my friends. I have friends that are like 5 feet tall, so. Tiny humans. God. Tiny humans. Giant bird! Interestingly, despite being a seabird, they lack sebaceous glands, which produce oil to make them waterproof. You're 5'2"? Or 5.2 meters. Because that's one hell of a tall fantasy. They lack the oil to make themselves waterproof. How do they deal with that then? It's kind of a weird thing for seabirds. 152 centimeters? Yeah, he's 5'2". I think I'm like 167 or something. Whatever 5'7" is. Could be that they just suffer. It looks like it. I love Conch's meta. It's always interesting. According to Norse legend, those who die at sea spend eternity on the Isle of Utrost, where they visit loved ones as a cormorant. Interesting. Look, Wolfgang, there's your grandfather. Oh, that's the one of the landscape practices. That's really neat. I wonder if I said that word right. Can the Norwegian confirm? Is it Utrost or Utrost? Well, they have weird ass wings that let air out and water in. In this image, it clearly went into the water as it's holding its wings out. Interesting. So initially I had the second part. I think I'm spelling that right, despair. And then I need another word for just bad luck. Although I could just keep it simple. You said it almost right. I'll tell you in VC one day. Cool. It's that weird O that I don't, I'm not too sure on. Okay, we're going to... just quickly... Oop. I want this outside of that. We're just going to quickly do that so that we have the columns and the lines and stuff. Is that you silent, or... So is it just Heldig? Heldig? That Danish is really hard. Is auspicious better than the U is not silent? I wouldn't. Is it Uheldig? Uheldig? Now it makes me want to learn Danish because it's difficult. Why is it so hard? Fortune is greater than auspicious. So do we have something then that's good for bad luck? Just inauspicious, I guess. So uheldig. Danish and Norwegian isn't far apart. Mmm. What, for bad luck, star-crossed? Well, we've got all these fancy words up here, and then down here we just kind of got, eh. I think just inauspicious is probably good. I mean, it works. Campfire under a waterfall? You just what? Ah, universe is slightly out of whack. I'll just go with inauspicious. Starcross seems a little. But these don't matter too much off the bat. I guess I should bring up some of the things that inspired Demora Designs, which I sent to Cora the other day because he's helping me with the he's helping me with the language. Bring this back up. I found these really cool tattoos. These seem to be really popular lately. But my initial designs for Demora were more kanji oriented, but I want to do something that's a little bit more fluid than that. Like, I have a preference to hiragana over katakana because I like the soft flow of things, but with Demora, like, everything is like the flow of the sea, the wind, the clouds, the lava that makes up most of their culture. But they're still demons, so I wanted it to look kind of demonic in that regard. Not gonna lie, those tattoos are pretty rad. And the other plan is for each one to contain like a wax seal, because I really wanted to do something with wax seals. So each one will get you a seal that that represents the curse, which is why I don't want to go more than this number of things. Because I have to make those seals still. And those seals will be embedded in the center of the card. Right here. So when it's folded up completely, the seal is hidden until you open it up. So it's kind of like this little dude in the center. If I could draw a gosh darn circle, whoop, good enough. The seals are never perfectly circular anyways. And for fun, I could assign each seal a different color. So as you already know, a lot of the Demora colors tend to be like the teals and oranges and stuff, and the pearl whites. And I think that has to do with like the ocean brings life, the pearls are and the white sand of their beaches are the safe places, whereas the volcanoes are not. So the neutrality color is probably going to be like a pearl white or maybe auspicious. Terror is probably going to be black. Inauspicious is probably going to be the orange for the lava. Things that are more dangerous in their land. I don't know. I do know that prosperity comes from the sea. That's where a lot of their food comes from. I'm trying to build this based on like cultural things, but also let me get back to this color here for notes. There are going to be trinkets that come with most of them, so you're going to get things like copper, a silver. I'm not going to involve a gold in any of these because a gold is like you can buy a kingdom with a gold coin in Mythodia. Um, and a trinket. So there's going to be a lot of neutrality ones that will have some sort of shell trinket. I'm just going to call them trinks for now. And I think, like, randomly, if you get inauspicious, you could get a copper. Same thing with this. With auspicious, you can get a copper, but it's more frequent. Whereas it's less frequent here. Apparently, I've just come up with symbology for greater and lesser in this scale. So you're likely, if you get inauspicious, you're likely to, there's a possibility of getting a copper, but less likely. Most of the time, you'll just get like an inconvenience curse, as I like to call them, where it's like, oh, your next endeavor will likely fail, or you'll. What's one example that we had? You'll cluck like a chicken for the next 5 minutes randomly. Weird, inconvenient little things. Whereas, like, down here at the bottom of the scale, it will be like you lose your next fight. And people can choose to play that how they like, right? So when it says fight or battle, it could be like if, for example, Eileen is a healer. Maybe she catastrophically fails one of her healing tasks. And she can work that out with the person that she's playing with. You just work it out slightly before and be like, hey, look, I got this little curse thing, and like we could do this thing where I really, really fail the healing and it actually injures you a little bit. And then I'll have to do it like a second time and try again. And then it'll work. So it could be things like that. But it entirely depends on the player who receives it. They can choose how and when to play their curse, or if they want to at all. And I don't think Terror is going to receive anything special, but you will get a really cool piece of artwork and a neat wax seal out of it. Because there's going to be very, very few of those. The same with Prosperity. Prosperity's probably going to come with like 2 silver and a trinket. And so I'll have a little bag of trinkets that will be like beaded shells on strings or something that you can like hang from your costume or your hat or whatever. Because I've got lots of little decorative shells and whatnot that I wanted to use in as like photography props, but I need to reduce the amount of stuff that I have in my life. And I'm like, well, I've got lots of beads, like thousands of beads in this house, and they need to go. So I could make like strings of beads and shells, the kinds of stuff that the Demora would have, and in each of these things you get an increasing chance of getting something. So if you get Despair, you'll probably get kind of like a slightly cursed shell trinket. There's just like has an aura of bad luck, but there's gonna be less of the bad things than there are of the positive things. So you're more likely to get something positive than you are to get something negative. So it'll make play more fun, and the higher on the scale it goes in either direction, there's going to be a lot less of them. So out of the entire batch, I might make like 1 Terror and maybe 2 Prosperity. But most of them are either going to be auspicious or inauspicious, and there's going to be a large number of neutrality ones, and you'll probably just get like a couple of beads or something as your prize. So that's the plan. It means more stuff to carry to Conquest, but I think I'm getting to the point where like I test a little bit of gear each time and I figure out what works and what doesn't. Like the little stove thing that you guys got for me, it worked, but it needs an adjustment, and I think part of it is because there's no ventilation holes in the bottom. So if you want to put like an actual fire in the pot, or like coals or something, it doesn't pull any air into the fire from the bottom, so there's no chimney effect that allows the fire to burn, and it just sort of smokes itself out. So like I'm gonna drill holes in that one. So like testing the gear really helps. I didn't get to test the gear before I left because, one, I wasn't allowed to build fires in the apartment, and I couldn't do that in the park either. So I just had to roll with it. But the little stove thing with the pot and having my own food to cook in the morning was really great. Definitely want to do that again, but it needs an adjustment. So I need to drill little holes in the pot to allow fire. But yeah, that's the plan for these things. Is just a little pocket that contains a curse. The writing is probably going to be like in the corners, like in this one down down here. So these bottom corners are going to contain like the curse information or the prosperity information. One in German and one in English. So that the people who don't speak any English, who are, native Germans, it's very rare for someone in Europe to not speak more than one language, but what happens. There are people who don't speak any English or don't read any English, and so I want to make sure that everybody can play. So the bottom corners are probably going to be the instructions. And then the center is going to be just like the place where you stick the wax seal. And then just the rest of it is just design work, and a lot of it's going to be Demora scripts that do have meaning and little bits of artwork and whatnot. And my plan is to design these digitally so that I can print them out on a nicer paper as squares, and then go over them with actual like permanent inks and stuff, so that if it's raining at Conquest, your cool piece of artwork doesn't get wrecked. Anyway, so that's the plan. If people have more ideas of the kinds of things I can include, that would be awesome. Got very quiet. Sorry. I get nervous. It is a quiet day, I think. But yeah, that's what I was doing last night. But I want each of these little packs to contain something, whether it's the cool wax seal or a couple of copper. Am I still connected? Oh, okay. God, you guys make me nervous. I made a few last night, testing different sizes. Them's some occultish looking tats right there. I love them. Naff! Thank you for the hydrate. I was like, where did my coffee go? I look at my my coaster, and my notepad is on there, and I'm like, that's not my coffee. I don't know how long you've been here, Neff, but they're the inspiration for the Demora script. If I were forced to get a tattoo, I'd be like, I'll get that. Like if I had to get a tattoo that was like a big tattoo, and someone's like, you have to get this tattoo or you will die. I'll be like, okay, I'll get that. Kabbalistic Chinese calligraphy? What? A lol. Let's not get too dark, shall we? No, like if I were forced to get a tattoo, but I could choose what it was. I'll have to look that up. That sounds interesting. Kabbalistic Chinese calligraphy. Did I scare you? No, it would be like, someone's like, you have to get a body mod or you will die. Uh, but it could be anything you want. It would, for me, like, I would choose elf ears. I'd be like, okay, you can give me elf ears. The long, loose cursive kind of Chinese calligraphy. I think I've seen that, and it is kind of along those lines. I don't know what Kabbalistic means. Hold on, let me, look it up. Well, there's no reference for Kabbalistic Chinese calligraphy. But I have found one that's the really loose flowing stuff. That's the one that I could find. If you have to get a body mod or you will die. Oh, that'll be done by the worst newest member of the faculty, but you get to choose the mod. Stop changing my goalposts, Neff. It looks like every doctor's handwriting. What is it with doctors and their handwriting? I'll never understand. It must be a class that they have in medical school, like a secret class. I don't understand how pharmacists deciphered that kind of stuff. It's actually code similar to shorthand. Interesting. But is it actually? Is to prevent people from stealing the doctor's prescription pads so they can't write their own prescription. Interesting. So they probably do have a class on it. That's fascinating. Now we just have, digital files. The information comes directly from the doctor's office via the digital system. I will look at that stuff afterwards, Cora, but thank you. Those linguistic stuff is kind of scary for me sometimes. Cora's making requests. Glyph are very gothic kanji. And then he sends me something called a glyphic. And I'll look at it, it's like punctuation vowels, diphthong diacritics, consonants, and I'm just like, sounds. Sounds are hard for me. Sounds are so hard. But yeah, Neff, if you missed what I said earlier, the things that I'm working on are these little, they're called Victorian puzzle purses, or puzzle letters. They were usually used to send love letters in the Victorian age. It was just like a cute thing that they did. And they're just square pieces of paper that fold up into this particular pattern. And I want to make curses and blessings in a sliding scale. And so in each of these packs you will receive a wax seal, and the paper itself is the instructions for like what happens. So it'll be very clear, like when somebody opens it, I'll know too what they're getting, but it'll be like I'll have a big pile of them. Letter locking. I'm not sure what that is, but probably. Let's see. What this window? So like, I had grabbed some files. Hold on a sec. I have too many notes, too many documents. Okay, this was supposed to be a transparent background. It lied. Never mind. You can twist a written page up into a self-envelope that will self-destruct. Interesting. I tried to get Maddie Kit into letter locking for like a year now. Self-destruct-ish. Well, Neff, I do want to make YouTube videos, so posted the channel I'm subscribed to in Arting. For letter locking? Ooh. I will have to look into this more. Oh, the sealing wax as an adhesive and authentication device. Interesting. The different styles of lettering. Some are origami-ish, some are self-destructish. Okay, okay, okay. So it is basically like a wax seal. Thanks, Cora, for the hydrate. I've got a headache today. Hold on a sec. Where's my Advil? I need my headache meds. And I don't know where they are. I'm gonna take a stretch there. I hate my room being disorganized. I don't know where my headache meds are. Basically, you turned your letter into its own envelope because paper was expensive back then. Yep. But also because the letter was folded so complex that receiver would know if it had already been opened. Yes, yes. And wax seals were sort of the same thing. If the seal was broken or damaged, it meant that it had been opened. Because wax seals were really hard to remelt back in place, too. I cannot find my my Advil. It's not on my desk, apparently. Yeah, though there were ways of getting past the wax seals if you were patient enough. Yes. Most people were not. Zia's come over for a cuddle and nurse while listening to stream. Oh, is she like suckling your shirt? Again? Razor wire and some steam pup. Yep. So this is a little bit different. This is mostly just it folds up and it's really cute. Nah! Cora, I'm running out of coffee. And Neff has redeemed a posture check. Everybody unshrimp your spines. Become conch lobster. Give yourself a little stretch in places where you don't normally. There are arms, your torso. Stretch back and forth the sides of your rib cage. Those often don't get stretched. A little wave back and forth like seaweed in the ocean currents. Your face is being biscuited. Tesla does that to me sometimes, except he can't retract his claws, so it's just pain. But yeah, so Neff, they all come with a wax seal at least, and there's instructions. So there's things like inconvenience curses, you know, the like cluck like a chicken for 5 minutes randomly. Neutrality, nothing really bad happens to you, but you're almost always guaranteed to get like a shell trinket that's probably just like a shell and a bead on a little string. One thing I really like making are the panchang knots, or panchang. I think it's pronounced. So they're like, it's usually this is a very rough shape of this thing. but it's the little Chinese knot things that I would make, that I made last year, and they usually have a bean on them. And it's 2 strings, and they're, well, 1 or 2 strings, but they're knotted together in such a way that they make this cool grid shape. So I think prosperity, if you get prosperity, you're going to get something like this. Terror, you get, basically, you get nothing. you get nothing for terror. You just get a curse, and it's gonna be like a much worse curse. Like you fail your next important major task, or you lose your next fight. Am I intending to be showing a thing? Am I not? OBS says I'm showing a thing. Oh, you see the drawing of the knot now? Yeah. Yeah, I was literally drawing it. Sorry. Probably should have zoomed in. Hold on, let me grab a picture. There. So I know how to make these. These little red knotted things. It's called a panchung knot, and it symbolizes good luck, prosperity, etc. Hi, Tesla. He came in and he meowed. So I got very good at making these. They're a lot of fun to do. Another thing I found was like instructions on how to fold a paper lotus. So maybe in the terror ones, I'll have like a little origami black lotus. Yes, it's the best I can do. It'll just be a little paper black lotus. And that symbolizes really bad luck for the Demora. So you're less likely to get a trinket inside the bad luck ones, but again, there's gonna be less of them, so you're more likely to get something good. It's kind of like it's inspired by the fortune telling in Asian cultures where they have like a stick with like good fortune or bad fortune, and you randomly choose one, and the stick tells you whether you have good fortune or bad fortune. It's kind of based off of that. And while there should be equal numbers of each, which I'm still debating on doing, because inconvenience curses are fun, Inconvenience curses are really fun because that's what the Demora usually do to one another is how they use up their curse powers. They're really petty. They can be really petty, and they'll it'll be things like, oh, you lose your keys next time you go look for them. You know, stuff that's just really vexing, but is harmless. Despair would be like you lose your you lose your wallet, but I'm not going to actually make anyone lose their wallet. So I need ideas for I need ideas for the curses and stuff, and I'll probably go to the alchemy guys and on the Dendronia Discord and ask them for some ideas for these, because a lot of them, like, they're gonna be more or less the same, and I'm gonna have a limited number of them, so it's only gonna be like one per person, kind of thing. I'm not sure how many I should bring with me. I'll have to ask some of the other people who give stuff out at Conquest, but like I have lots of beads and I have lots of like little shells because I bought these bottles of shells from the dollar store because I wanted the bottles, but I'm like, well, it's got these shells in it. I don't know what to do with them. So yeah, people who get prosperity will probably be given one of these good luck knots. And people who get terror will get this evil black lotus that radiates evil energy. I've got to use up my cursed energy somehow. Sorry. I hear a noise and I look over at my door and it's just my brother. He's like peeking around the corner of my door frame and he like reaches out with his hand. And I can't see anything but his silly bald head and his bare arm and shoulder. Oh, that's a good one, Mewjuice. That is great. No, he didn't hiss, unfortunately. But that would have been good. But he reached around. I got this 3M hook on the center of my door where my my coat from I made Kieran's jacket for the second level up LARP contest, and Cheese reaches up and grabs this hook that has that hanging on it, and like pulls the door shut via that because I think he was it's just a squirt bottle either way. I guess he's heading to the shower and he's just got his towel wrapped around him, so he doesn't want me to see. If he had just gone over there, I wouldn't have seen him at all. That's hilarious. He should have hissed. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, so that's the idea. And the grid with the quadrants allows me to have like we'll have like the English instructions here and the German instructions here, and then you would have the wax seal. Easiest way to make circle. Depending on how big I want to make these, I have a couple of sizes that I'm looking at, but it would be easier to make them as small as possible. But I don't want to make them too small. Hold on, let me grab a picture of these ones here. Gotta turn on my ring light again. Oh God, it's yeah. Giant picture. Let's make some more room here. Hey. Alright. So I've made a couple of sizes of these already. They're kind of fun to make, actually. I think the larger size is made from an 11 by 17 piece of paper. Or, yeah, I think it's 11 by 17. So, which means it's 11 inches square. And then I just started making them progressively smaller from the leftover pieces that I cut off. But once you start getting to the smaller one, it's not... It just feels too small. So I think the mid-size one is actually the best. And that was 15 by 15 centimeters in the end. So I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. Unless I can find, like, you know the scrapbooking paper at Michael's? How it's already cut into squares? If I can find some of that, like, really cheap, that's just really nice, and stick that into my printer, so that whatever design I come up with, I can just print them off automatically in squares and don't have to worry about any cutting. That'll make my life a hell of a lot easier. And then it's just a matter of folding it. Yeah, origami paper, that too. That does work indeed. Good idea. I had somehow forgotten about that. Folding it is still a little bit confusing for me. The initial fold where you fold it into that little diamond shape in the middle. This fold here is still a little bit annoying. But I think this is the back side of the thing. Yeah, this one's the back side, but when you fold it all into the middle, it gets this little sort of pinwheel shape. And that initial fold down I always find very confusing to put together. So I need to practice a lot. I don't have any origami paper. I don't know if origami paper comes in the... I want something a little bit more robust than just paper. But not as heavy as cardstock. So I gotta find something in between. What did I just drop? I just dropped my pen. Come back! Nah. Nugget! Oh, please tell me you heard that. Hi! Tesla! Woo! But yeah, origami paper is a great idea. I will look into that, see if I can find something that's a little bit more like cardstock like. I think 15 centimeters is probably perfect. Yep, he's been making lots of little meows lately. Babbins. He wants me to play with him, but I'm busy here. He wants some form of attention. I'm not quite sure what. Sorry, I keep like leaning out of view of the camera. Yeah, Tesla doesn't actually meow, like he doesn't do the standard cat meow unless he's actually in distress. And then he's like, meow. His noise of like pay attention to me and I'm here and oh my god, I'm a cat is like ooh woo. It's really adorable. He literally says ooh woo. But yeah, Mewjuice, I really like your idea for the despair one. So I want to have a good variety of things. Hold on, I'm going to turn this off again because the lighting shining down at me makes the camera think that I'm like because it's shading my eyes with my brow and my bangs. Hi, Tesla. Woo! Death! Hello! J-Mare, that beautiful sound of a scream is music to me. Yep, he would like the negative fortunes. I'll have to have somebody from the Discord who's German help me translate the instructions. But otherwise, largely, the rest of it is just design. Despair, thinking you lost your beloved pet for an hour when there is no pet. Oh no! Yeah, I know. Crow will definitely help me translate. There's a few others. I know Wacky would take the time to help me. I always feel bad asking people for help and not being able to give them something in return, but maybe I'll bring my own Panchang knots. But Hightower already did that this last year. They gave the Panchang knots to a bunch of people who were there last year. They gave them to them this year, and I found another one on the ground, and I didn't know who it belonged to. Like, I found it in the ground, on the ground in the market, like in the tross. So it's just like, ugh. What do I do with this? So I just kept it. You're looking into some fun glyphs. I did do some doodles. So the way I like to design languages is I like to do just doodling and scribbling. Let me quick upload this picture. My phone's on 3% battery. Let's plug that in because I need to call the doctor's office after stream. Is that actually charging? Wow. Yes, that's charging. I just knocked one of my hard drives on the ground again. Okay, you said you were going next year, Fantasy. Why can't you go now? My brother's still occupying the bathroom and I need to pee. Paper folding instructions I have for an origami lotus don't make one quite that nice. More like that. But it's something simple that can fold down into the packet. Sigh! Sisters, good morning! Money problem? Aw. Well, I mean, you've still got like a year. Well, not a year, but it's like 10 months. Ah! I'm listening on my phone today, and Izzy is reacting to stream as well. It's cute. Aww. Izzy! Cargo! River and Valco are driving Dante insane. Cat yowling ensues. Oh no! Tesla is vibing, but he is a bit lonely. Thanks for the hydrate, Cora. I'm gonna have to go get another drink soon. Oh, right, I was gonna... grab that picture that I had of the noodles. So when I'm designing stuff for, like, languages or designs, I just, like, grab a page and I doodle randomly until I start coming up with symbols that I really like. And then I start trying to put them together. If I'm trying to design something that looks like a script, I'm not a linguist, but I do know some of the basics, and I understand that, like, languages have to have some form of individual glyph, whether it be for, like, a meaning or a sound, etc. I'm pretty sure Tesla is lonely because he's wandering around looking for someone to hang out with. He gets very upset when he can't find somebody. I think I need another cat. There is a cat wandering the neighborhood. It's this, like, really lanky looking teenage brown tabby kind of dude. I need to acquire him. Turn him into house cat. Babushk. I don't think I'm gonna actually use the word babushka as small old tree, but It is funny, and I would love to see that in a language somewhere, in some form of conlang. But yeah, I was just wandering around looking through a lot of the references of these tattoos because they seem really popular right now. And I was just pulling symbols from them. Apparently, these tattoos themselves are utterly meaningless. They're just doodles. Apparently, that's just all they are. Which I think is also really neat in its own way. Oh, Cheese is a shoelace and he's playing with Tesla in the hallway. Banao Bushikaku. Eh. I'm still trying to figure out how I want Demora to sound. Sorry. I'm just watching Tesla play with a shoelace just outside my door. No. No, that isn't right either. I think you're leaning too much into the Japanese. I'll think on it. Cora, I'll think on it and see if I can make a couple of recordings of sounds. Or write down the sounds that I like for it. But Demora itself is very much influenced by, like any language, its environment, the people, history. It's even suggested that some languages develop based on sounds and nature. Who sent the sleep spell? We're just so chill here. So that's what I spent the better part of last night doing. You must have gotten an inauspicious tag. Fantasy made you sleepy. Oh, that's what it could do. It could make you really sleepy. The inauspicious one. Why am I so strangely wiggly? I'm barely even moving. Must be the lighting. Is that... How is that letter pronounced? Or sorry, how is that character pronounced, Cora? Is that like an F sound? A th? Is it the or th? Or th? Or th? Contextual. Oh, good lord. Drethka? Is it like the or depth? So we're getting into the linguistics here. It's not for Demora. Once I figure out how their language sounds, I'll probably come up with the name they call themselves as a people. Demora is more the common term for them. It would be like our language term for them. Necromancer, I can barely English. You have some German too, though, right? It's mostly from your wife. Nine! Not enough in November? I haven't written anything at all this month. I'm not participating in National Novel Writing Month specifically anymore because of everything that happened over the last couple of years with them. Yet. Nessenet et al. I don't even know what that was. There's just so many N's. My brain went. Bleh. Old English, no, not at all. Ne say nay at all. I like the AE symbol. Is that geese? Cobra chickens. The AE is pronounced as A, right? Like 8. Or is it ah? At. Cat. Ah. Yeah. I think that's why a lot of people have trouble with my username is the AE. Because say is actually say and then a ka. It's like an A. There's actually a lot of nuance to the pronunciation of my username. And the AE is like actually more like an A. Hey Ross, you did your civic duty today? What was your civic duty? Some form of voting? I have a really bad headache oncoming. Voting. Ah. What kind of vote? I'm glad you voted. Now you need to find more people in your area who vote the same way you do or have a tendency to vote the same way you do and encourage them to do the same. For governor, among other things. Excellent, excellent. I hope your candidate wins. A 15-stream streak? Holy shit. I think that's the highest streak we've reached. Ah! Cora! We're doing some design stuff today, Ross. I bet. It was a Republican. No. You most definitely voted for Democrat, if not for an independent. But today we're working on the curses and blessings. You'll be on 15 tomorrow. Nice, nice. Und I gebunde understanded. Voting for that, may as well vote for that party. Yeah, voting for independent, may as well vote for that party. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like throwing your vote away at that point. The candidate in my area where I lived didn't win. And then I moved away, so it doesn't matter. But, man, I really liked Mike Morris. He was so good. Vote splitting is stupid. We should have a tiered system. So, what you're seeing up on screen right now, Ross, are the blessings and curses and blessings idea that I had for Conquest. You need to teach me how to read Old English? Be learned. Look, I sort of have Middle English down, okay? I have a language learning disability, and I'm trying to create one of my own here. I got 27.5% on the linguistics midterm twice in a row. I was so bad at the linguistics class that I had to have a special exception made from the university to have me take a different linguistics course because it was required for my degree that I have a linguistics course of some sort, and they didn't offer anything else other than an introduction to linguistics. So I had to take a linguistics course from another university, which ended up being anthropological linguistics, in which I got a 99. I'm good with history, I'm bad with sound. Yeah, well, you're learning a different structure, Ross. So, yeah, it's a different grammatical structure and subject, verb, order, and then different gender rules. Ugh, I hate gendered languages. Do your Spanish or vanish. So, as I was trying to say, these are called Victorian puzzle purses, Ross. They were usually used as love letters in Victorian times. It's just like a fun way to send notes to your love or to your friends. In this case, they're on a sliding scale of neutrality from prosperity to terror. Cora, I'm running out of coffee. And, so you would randomly draw one of these from me at Conquest, and it will either give you a blessing or a curse. And it comes with a wax seal, and sometimes it will have like a copper or a silver, or a trinket inside, that are just like little things that you can keep, and they will probably cost like 4 copper or something to buy one. So it's how my character makes money, so that the copper distribution and the silver distribution are going to be a little bit less. Eileen, hello! You made it, woohoo! I'm now out of coffee. How have I been? I've been good. How have you been? Also, granted, better find out at some point that not all I feel immersed took me a while to realize Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, Romanian were all romantic languages. Took me a while to realize because my brain associates Spanish and Portuguese with North Central South America. Fair enough. More than Europe. To be fair, the American education system ain't great, so I'm not surprised. Then again, it also took me a while to realize, yeah, I was Greek from Roman mythology, for starters, are based in different locations of the world. No, it's obvious, but it took me to realize. No, not the coffee. Hi, cushion. Well, it's cushion? Cushion. Cousin, I think it's the C-O-S. C-O-U-S-I-N. You've been fine. Fine is better than bad. So that's good. I'm just, I've explained this a few times. These are Victorian puzzle purses. And I'm going to be handing these out at Conquest, well, for sale at Conquest as, you buy a fortune. So in a way, it's fortune telling. But it's kind of like a cross between a fortune cookie, a blind box, and one of those like Asian fortune telling things where it's like, oh, you're gonna have good luck today or bad luck today, you know. And they're gonna come some with trinkets, some with copper, very rarely silver, and it's on a sliding scale from neutrality, so from prosperity to terror, with neutrality being in the middle. So it's going to be largely just neutral. It's like, oh, you're going to have everything's fine, and it's probably just going to have like a tiny shell with a bead on a string as your consolation prize, kind of deal. And I'm probably going to sell them for like 4 or 5 copper, maybe 2. It depends on how much copper I put in there, because I want my character to find a way to earn money and also use his skills and create play for other people at the same time without having to be an official playmaker. Hope Kate gets the one where it's making chicken noises. Yeah, that'll be like the inauspicious. That'll probably be a common one, is be like, oh, you randomly cluck like a chicken in conversation for 5 minutes. So you'll just be talking and be like, bah! And then keep going. Je suis pas parler français. There would be no n in there. Oh, wait, no, there wouldn't. No, it would be je suis pas. Is it je ne suis or je suis ne? Yeah, je suis ne parler français. Because you're basically saying, I, not me, speak French. Instead of I, me, not speak French. But you wouldn't even use the suis. You would just say je ne parle français. That is one of the things I know how to say in French. As a Canadian, French is supposed to be our second language. I had lots of education in French. Do I know any of it? No. But I can say bonjour, comment ça va? Or hello, how are you? And je ne parle français. which is I do not speak French. And then when I try to start thinking about how to say I'm sorry, I immediately switch into Japanese. Gome. Gome nasai. And then German starts blending in there somewhere too. That's the point. Okay, fair enough. I wasn't sure whether you were doing it on purpose, Cora, or whether you just didn't know. If I say the phrase wrong, they will not speak French to me. Usually, if you say I do not speak French in French, they will understand that this is the only thing they know how to say, and they will switch languages. Unless they're just being an asshole. Or they don't know any other language at all. In which case, you're both fucked. It's a good one to go to. Hey, Death is on a 15-stream streak. Woohoo! Death and Ross are tied. You have meetings, you'll be back in a bit. Okay. Je voudrais son pantalon que son pantalon. Why am I speaking French? Why am I speaking French? I don't want to be French. Start to say sorry in different languages. Yep. I think je m'excuse is like excuse me. Or you just say excusez. There are a couple of French things that I do know. But my French is far worse than my German. And my German is probably still worse than my Japanese. Which is still pretty bad. You know what? Europeans are lucky because they have so many different languages and they tend to learn them all growing up. German was actually my first language, but I forgot it all as a child. And I still have trouble with languages to this day, even with the ADHD medication. It has been a lot better. I'm able to better understand people over the phone with accents. I still have a lot of trouble with strong accents. Death can vouch for that every time he tries to talk in the Discord chat when we're in a call, which they do happen every once in a while. So make sure you check by the Demora Discord every once in a while. Sometimes we're just hanging out. A lot of the times I just don't understand what Death is saying. I even have a little bit of trouble with Ross sometimes. Because Ross has a tendency to murmur or mutter, so he doesn't enunciate enough. Somebody's cooking something. I smell food. For later say beklager unskilled. All three means sorry. Wow. Hava behar is a polygot? Politely. He's very confused. It's like, am I having a stroke? If you smell food, sounds like an excuse to get up and refill your beverage so you can investigate. That is true, and I do have to go to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom like half an hour ago, but cheese was in the shower. That was really good, Nameless. Your Norwegian is very good. You know what? I try. I try my best. I've heard enough European languages spoken that I can estimate, but
Death underscore Sand says, well, I never had English in school, I just learned English from YouTube. So sorry for talking bad sometimes.
it's fine. Your English is very good for somebody who learned it from YouTube. Especially since the YouTubers you told me you listened to back then, uh, probably not the most well-spoken people, mostly swearing, by the sounds of it. It's a very good attempt on Danish. Look, Danish is very hard. Danish is probably one of the harder languages. Now, is that IC? Is it is or ich? Isgefea this. I think that is a soft, like depth. Thesar. Ich gefehe Thesar. Or the. I think it's the, actually. The Sar? Ich gefehe the Sar. I remember 20 plus years ago when talking with an artist from El Salvador and they admitted they were not very good at speaking English. Told them it was better than my attempts at Spanish. Yeah. English is a difficult language to learn because it has so many exceptions to its quote unquote rules because it's an amalgamation of so many different languages. Sometimes, barely when I read Spanish, I can get the general gist of what's being said if I can't understand every word. I'm like that kind of with Japanese, and I'm getting there with German. Alright, I'm going to take a short break because I do have to go to the bathroom. So I will be right back. Everybody make sure you get up and stretch your legs. Ich gebe the Sar. So the G is more of a Y sound? Okay. I give you sorrow. The, yes. Not the, but the. Okay. I know, like, Rather, his name has that, like, little D symbol of it's the TH phonetic. The IPA I have trouble with because, again, I have a lot of trouble with discerning sounds. CG and P are contextual. Goddamn contextual. Ah! Yeah, well, it's a different sound, right? Each symbol for the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, represents a sound that the human mouth can form. That's why when I ask, is it the or depth? Because the th makes a different sound. Okay, I'm going to the bathroom. Everybody get up and stretch your legs and walk around a little bit so you don't get blood clots. I worry about your health because I worry about my health. I'll be right back. Ah! I return! Jump scare. You jump scared me? That's the point. I am a demon after all. I went down and I was like halfway through boiling the kettle for tea, and Cheese is like, but I made coffee, and I'm like, you could have told me that before I filled the kettle. So I have, I don't know what the difference is. When my brother makes coffee, it tastes good. When my dad makes coffee, it tastes like bitter acid, like battery acid. That's just so vexing. Oh, this should be transparent. I just want something representative. Yay, it's sort of transparent. What the fuck is this? Let's increase the tolerance. Let's increase the tolerance a little bit more. Yeah. There. I don't know why I even bothered with that, but I did. I'm just trying to keep my keep my layers clean here. There. Did my avatar move a bit more to the left? Oh, yeah, that's, maybe that's what I did. The other day, I, accidentally, shifted things. I grabbed off the screen in, well, I was in Minecraft, and I messed it up, and I wasn't sure what I had moved, but clearly it was my VNN. There we go. Actually, I think I want to sit a little bit higher than that. Thank you for pointing that out. I was wondering what it was that I had moved the other day. And by the other day, I mean yesterday. Like, I accidentally clicked off Minecraft because I have to keep the window smaller because I only have one monitor. No! Illegal. Compliments are illegal. You can compliment each other, but not me. I don't know how to react to that. Demora aren't used to that kind of thing. I now have to decide whether I want to put these on like white paper or colored paper. No! I am only entertaining if there are other people more entertaining than me around. I feed off of everybody. I'm an entertainment vampire. Perf! I was about to say Monsty. That would be illegal. I'm not allowed to call you Monsty. I am only allowed to call you Perf. Got Psy and Perf showed up today? What is this? Illegal! Speaking of illegal. And Cora speaking in tongues again. They say in good you was a good demon. Okay, that word I would never have guessed would have been demon. There was an attempt. Hashtag there was an attempt. Gold star. You tried. See, this is why when it gets really quiet in chat, I'm just like, what did I do wrong? Shiocha? Shiocha. See, I would never have guessed that that word would be demon. You see my struggle with language, Cora. And I am better at reading things than I am at repeating sounds given to me. What language is this? English. In fact. It just happens to be early English, which is basically a different language. Oh, no, no, no. You see, I'm telling the truth. It is, in fact, English. Yay, meow love. My precious meow meow. This is perfect. Really, no! You beans are too good to me. I am not deserving of these praises from such wonderful and amazing people. Imposter syndrome, maybe. I always feel like I'm not good enough to be friends with such amazing people and to have people give me their very precious limited time in their lives. No! We're not complimenting. Say, I'm telling you it's illegal. I don't know how to... At least Neff throws cans at me. Thanks for the hydrate, Neff. And a stretch. Everybody stretch. Even though I just got back from being downstairs.
New Juice says, Havarti also thinks Say is a good QB. We all know it.
God, even Havarti's complimenting me now. Christ. Stop it, guys. I'll give you curses. Maybe. Probably be good curses. Because Nameless is a good boy. He just wants to be a good boy. Good thing you never set much store by stupid laws. Meh. I'm holding the wrong pen. I was like going to draw on my tablet and I'm holding a pencil, for Christ's sake. This is how much you people discombobulate me. I'm all discomboobly bobbled. People laugh at the boob. Give them to me, a personal curse from Nameless. My curse is that you will all have a great day. Good things will happen, and you will be filled with happiness. And imposter syndrome. Goodness. Nah. So there. I will also make you have the same feelings of strangely enjoyed inadequacies. Yeah. Yes, I have a degree in rhetoric. I'm a professional rhetorician. I just make funny noises. I spent 5 years at university to learn how to talk good. The fuzzies have snuggled into your foot. Tesla doesn't do that. He never sits under my desk. He's not a foot cat. He was sleeping up by my head at some point this morning. Yesterday he climbed up by my head and then was just like licking my nose for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, cat, you lick your butt with that tongue. Stop. But also, cat saliva is like has disinfectant properties, like saponins, kind of, because they're meant to clean. So it's all like, is his tongue dirty or is it clean? Because he licks dirty things with his tongue to clean them, but his tongue is always perpetually clean. Aww. We're lying down right now as they settle together against you. Aww, kittens. Baby kittens. Yep, Tesla was pretty snuggly this morning. Like, really early in the morning. And the way he was, like, in the living room, and I looked down and saw him there, and he looked up at me and then ran up the stairs to me, I was just like, hi. It's so cute. Why is that so cute? Cora has redeemed another hydrate. Oh my god. You know how I was looking for my Advil earlier? Let me just take a picture. If I can find my stupid phone. Right, I put it up here to charge because it was a 3% battery. You guys are gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna be like, say you dumb. Let me just go get this. I did turn the bottle around so that you could see where the bottle was. The words were facing in the opposite direction. But that's where my Advil has been the whole time. Say you dumb. I've been looking for my Advil for like an hour. Just glancing around the desk. I'm like, I know it's here somewhere, man. As you hear me struggle to close the lid. Dumb and blind. I'm even wearing my glasses. Because I can't see without... Really, I'm blind without my glasses, but... Man. Oh, it's one of those days. It's probably the fact that, like, I have a tremendously bad headache today. And I just couldn't see them. Because I was looking too hard for them. And I just sort of, like, leaned over and went to reach for my coffee. And it's like my eyes just focused on that one object. And suddenly it was there. Kitten dreams are the best. I'll take some meds now. I wonder if it has something to do with the weather, because I haven't had a headache like this in a little while. Let's check our weather. We haven't done that in ages. What is it like in Canada? 9 degrees. Feels like 5 with a high of 11. Feels like 7. Not bad. It's going to be -2 on Sunday night. -4 on Thursday night. Temperatures are still a little too high for November, in my opinion, but whatever. The planet is suffering. But yeah, that's the dum-dum of... Oh, contextual letters in Old English. Oh, these are letters that you're sharing. Okay. I'm talking about the IPA symbology, Cora. IPA symbology is very specific. Because it's based on the sound and not on the context. So when I see some of those characters, I read them as IPA. Which is what I had the most trouble with in linguistics, was a phonetic translation of sounds to IPA. And that's why I kept doing so badly on the exam and getting 27.5% each time. It was like less than fail. It was like uber fail. C is k or ch. Okay. Fair enough. God, my head hurts. I'm just sitting here thinking about how much my head hurts. So, I'm going to turn that off. I had a thought and it just disappeared from me. SC could be sk or sh. And I only add the sound on the end to indicate that I'm making a sound. But it's sk or sh. Time to raid out then, maybe. My brain is like doing a shutdown. Gotta plug my phone back in. At the very least, I want to plug my phone in as long as possible. NG could be or j. That's confusing. That's really confusing. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas, whether it be for like curses or fortunes, you know, it could be like protection charms and whatnot. Trinkets. Oh, could be for Rod or Dawn. So it's all. Rod and Dawn are the same word, or the same sound. Or is it O and ah? But English itself is like that too. Like the GOHTI can sound like fish or be read as fish. Fucking English, man. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a thread in workshops for this project. Yeah, my brain was basically starting to shut down. I still have to call the doctor and make an appointment for my knee. And hope that it's not going to result in a physio that I can't afford. But my knee did that, like, schlock thing again, where, like, I pushed on it and I cracked it in a different way than I normally would crack my knee last night. It's kind of like shifting everything back into place when I do that. And then after a couple of days, it seems to all settle back into the bad position where it like hurts like a bitch. So there's something seriously wrong with my left knee. My right knee is the one that was permanently damaged, and now I think my left knee is even more damaged than my right knee. And I never got physiotherapy for my right knee, and I definitely can't get physiotherapy for my left knee because I can't afford it. Because you only get free physiotherapy after age 60. And I'm still 20 years off from that. So, unless I get on ODSP, and then I've got Neff's situation where it's like only certain physiotherapists take it, and good fucking luck getting in with them. Yeah. But I'm going to create a thread for this project, and I guess it'll be in workshops because that's what it's for. And I'll keep you apprised of the designs for this. I'm gonna go find someone to raid to, unless people have a suggestion. Because my brain is doing the bad. My brain is being dum dum. H is CH in loch. Loch? Would it be loch or lock? Tube is on. We are going to ride Tubular Troll. Today we're off sailing to other waters. Everybody, thank you for coming by today. Oh my god, 10 viewers. Wow. There's a lot of people today. You're all hiding out. I do appreciate everybody who comes, even if you lurk. I'm sorry for ending stream a little bit early. My brain just kind of like did a shutdown. I think it's because of the headache, and we had like a big storm system yesterday, and today's like clear and sunny, so I think like pressure changes have just sort of fucked around with my head. So instead of pushing it too hard, we're just gonna head off. So thank you everybody for coming by. I love you. Have a good day. Bye bye.